Hello, how are you? Welcome. Thanks for joining me. How's it going? I hope good. Making our way through the week. I have so much stuff on my desk, I need to push it forward. Let me see if I can do multiple things at once. I don't know if I can. My internet's acting slow tonight. Hopefully it's not slow for you. Or like buffering or any of that nonsense. Okay, here we go. I think that's it. Alright. Here we are. Hi Vicky, how are you? Welcome. Okay. I'm trying. Okay, so I have an interchangeable easel. We are going to get started. I'm going to start, I think, with the actual insert for this. So these inserts are separate from the easel, okay? But I do have it bundled tonight for you at a little bit of a discount so that you can grab it from my website. Or you can go on to my Etsy and get it individual if you want, separately, if you like. I'm going to use some Ocean Mist paste. My paste is a little bit dry, so hopefully it's not going to be a problem. Alright, hey Kathy, how are you? I did spray some water on here, and I also sprayed some on my foam brush. Okay, I'm going to try and spread this out and add a little bit more water to it. Hopefully, yeah, it's good now. It's getting there. Let me not make a mess with this. Okay, here we go. I need to put more water down at the bottom so that I don't peel this up, similar to the situation we had last night with the meadow that was just slightly dry. Okay. I'm going to add a little bit more water here so that that'll be easier to spread. So you can comment the word easel and get the link to grab this cutout either from my website with the link or on my Etsy. You can buy it individually if you already have the easel. But I do have it bundled up for you so that you can get both at once and not have to pay extra. Plus, I put it on sale. So there's that. And the shipping's a little bit lower whenever you buy it together. Alright. I'm just trying to smooth this little bit of paste out. My nephew's in there making tea right now. Iced tea. Alright. Okay, that's Ocean Mist. I am going to let that sit and dry, and then we'll move on to the mittens and everything else. I have some markers that I pulled out because I didn't want to pull out paint. I'm going to use red for my mittens. Hey Sam, how are you? Welcome. Oops. And then there's like a little cup with some marshmallows, of course, and all that good stuff. So I do need to, I just realized that I need to paint my inside of my cup brown. I didn't think about it before I started painting. So maybe consider what you need to do before you just go to town here, okay? But it'll be fine. We will solve the problems of the world together. Now, the mittens have like little cuffs on them. The cuff pieces are separate, so we'll paint those white, but I am going to do the background piece here. Oh, it's not my lid. And I have, of course, a Posca pen for this. Just going to do a rough paint job here. It doesn't have to be perfect. You know how I am. If I accidentally don't line this up properly, it's going to be a problem. So I do like to paint my background pieces. There. It doesn't have to be perfect though. And then we'll hit this part, the cup. If we can do it, my gosh. You would think coloring would be a little easier, but sometimes it's not. All right. And then I'm probably going to do 2 coats on that. And then we're going to do the cuffs and the little heart inserts both white, okay? I think this will look nice against the red. And then I was thinking about doing the words in a darker color. I do want to use my club transfer on this one too. You know I do. So let me try and not get white over here. Now, I was thinking originally that I was going to do the inside of the cup with a marker, but then I went ahead and just painted over it in blue. So now I'm going to have to pull out some paint for that. Hey, Alma, how are you? Hey, Stephanie, welcome. So I'm making more work for myself is my point. I'm pretty good at that, actually. Okay, there we go. Okay, and getting myself stuck to tape consistently, okay? I could probably, like, not do that and separate things out, but we're going to use the club. I don't know if y'all remember, but this is the club for this month. We'll do that in a minute. But until then, I want to go ahead and paint the words here. And I'm going to use this dark chocolate brown pen. These are so smooth. I just love them. It's like a marker. It's really strange that this is acrylic paint, but it is. So the thing says, it's a hot cocoa kind of day. There are some score lines on this for some of this, okay? For the cocoa, the cup, the top, the words that go on the top, and the little mittens. And then for the bottom part, we'll have to place the words in the right place, okay? And it's not scored on there. So I kind of played around with it a minute ago just to be sure that I had an idea of what I was doing before I started. Because, you know, I hate that, starting something and not having a single clue, which I do it all the time, and too frequently, actually. So you'll be glad to know I am semi-prepared for this project. Although, I say that, and I literally was thinking to myself, I'm going to have to color that cocoa cup inside of it. So don't be painting over it, and then I just painted straight over it. So I mean, sometimes I do okay, and then other times I'm like, what is wrong with you? Pretty much on the daily I ask myself that. So my parents are finalizing their plans to build their house. Hey Steph, how are you? And my mom calls me earlier and she says, okay, I've been looking at this local granite supplier. It's near my house. And she tells me, you have to see these pictures. And so she gives me the website and she's like, go look at all these pictures, y'all. The pictures are terrible. They're absolutely hideous. Okay. Like whoever took those photos, they could have done better. All right. Turn on a light. Do something. Anything. Literally anything would have been better than half of the pictures. And then the design choices. And I recognize that, like, most times whenever you pick out all the stuff for your, you know, your cabinets and your floors and all that stuff, you're picking it out yourself. But, like, somebody should have told these people, that looks terrible together. Okay, that doesn't go. I'm seeing if this pen's going to work here. Okay. and it appears that it might. So that's nice. Anyway, so yeah, it's really sad how bad those photos are. I mean, they're absolutely horrendous. And I would be embarrassed if it were my business. And obviously, I mean, I do crafts on the internet all the time, and I'm consistently messing things up, so I really don't have any room to judge at all. But when I do a bad project, I don't post a photo of it. I hide it, usually, and try to forget about it because I'm ashamed whenever I don't do a great job. So, anyway, yeah, I thought it was pretty funny. My mom, I swear, she was just trying to upset me earlier by sending me that. Okay, so I colored that. I might do another coat here in a minute once that kind of dries a little bit. And I think my Posca pen actually did a really good job of first coat coverage here, but I'm going to go ahead and do one more coat, and then we can move on to the actual easel. So these Posca pens work great for some things, and this is one of them, where you can get a little bit more out of it because it's liquid paint. And as great as these markers are, the other markers that I use are, the white isn't that great of coverage. It just soaks right into this wood. And so it's times like this that I'm very thankful that I have multiple pens that I can use. So I'm gonna see if I can hit this one more time with a little bit more brown. Get really good coverage here. And then we can move on to painting the easel and getting this thing put together, doing our club transfer on this. So I'm going to do the club on the background here on this part. Okay. That's, I think, all of our pieces. I may come over this, go over that one more time too. The mittens, I haven't decided. But here's the easel. Okay, it comes with this little greenery piece too. So I'm going to go ahead and just quickly, but while I have all this unpainted, do that. And then I have an idea of the color that I want to use. So I want to make this to where I can use it again and again, okay, because it is interchangeable. You can take those pieces out of the middle of it and you put something else in, okay? So, and it just rests in there. I think it'll rest without needing like Velcro or anything like that to hold it in place. And because it's an easel, it leans a little bit, so it's good like that. I think it'll be fine without needing something to actually hold it in. But I sort of tested it a minute ago to make sure that it wasn't going to fall out when it's standing up, and I don't think it will, so good news there. All right. This, I do have several inserts for it, and I will post those on my Etsy too, so you can check those out if you want. Hey Terry, how are ya? Welcome. Okay, so for this outline part, we're going to use a lighter color and then a darker color for the actual easel itself and this little stand. So I have this Dixie Belle, the gel stain. This one is Tobacco Road, okay, and I'm just going to put that right onto my foam brush. Now, I'm going to do a couple of layers on this and build it up, so it goes on real nice, though. I know that looks really light. It is really light, okay, but I'm going to do several layers, so just bear with me. But I like this stuff because it's non-toxic. It doesn't smell. It is a stain, but it doesn't stink, okay? And it's real easy to apply. I don't know that it's washable, but it's not like a regular stain where you need to like not get it on your hands, where it'll stain your hands and stuff like that. I haven't noticed that it really is that big of a problem. I probably wouldn't get it on my clothes. I would try not to if I were you. But it's not like a stain where it smells bad. I like to wear gloves when I use a regular stain, you know, just because it's pretty hard to get off your hands and off your nails and stuff. Okay, there's our first coat. I'm going to flip this again. That's almost dry, so I'm going to go again on this. And then for this piece, the little outer piece, I wanted it to be lighter. I don't know. Maybe hopefully it's not going to look dumb. We'll see. I'm going to use this other one. This one is Au Naturel. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but whatever. Anyway, it's kind of a whiter brown. Oh, a lighter, whiter brown. It's not white. It is brown still, but I thought that might be nice. Okay, and then that way it's kind of neutral, and you could do any insert with this, and it would look good for any season. So you could use it year round and just get the different inserts and switch it out. Okay, so there's that. Now I probably will do a couple coats of that one as well. I'm going to switch back though, and I know I just keep turning this round and round. Let that soak into my foam brush, and then the center is really not that big of a deal because it's going to be covered by the insert, but I say that regardless of that, I still want to paint it. Okay, I still want it to look nice even when it's not put together. Okay, and you could even paint the back of this thing if you wanted to. I'm probably not going to do that on mine. But if you want to, you could easily flip this over once it's dry and paint the back as well. Okay? And I think that's looking pretty good. I'm liking that shade. Now, I'm going to go one more time on the center, on this outer piece, the frame. And then, that little leaf part stays on the frame, okay? So you attach that to it. So I'm going to let this come over here and just hang out right down here. I'm going to put it over here. And then let's see how we're looking. I think we're good. I do want to do one more layer of the red just to give it a little bit better coverage. Wow. If I can get it together and paint the thing, that'd be good. Here we go. Just like that. There we go. All right, we're good. Now, pull all these pieces off of here. Gently, okay? Especially once you get to the words, just because they are delicate, okay? set all of these little white pieces over here within my cup, okay, so that I know where they are and they don't go flying off somewhere, okay? And then my little mittens can go right over there too. There are some pieces that are going to have to be assembled to make this thing stand up and all that good stuff, which I'll show you exactly how to do that. It should be fairly simple. I haven't actually done it yet, but I think it's easy. We'll see. I think it is. All right, and then again, this is the club that we're going to use, okay? So let's get to it. Let me move all that too. All right. And then we'll wax. And a lot of this is going to be covered, but I'm going to go ahead and wax the entire thing anyways. And we're going to go ahead and put the print on the entire thing. And then that way it doesn't look like something's missing, okay? Whenever we put it all together. Now, I'm going to use vanilla. Hopefully that's going to be a good choice for this one. And I'm not going to fuzz this because it's really a lot of silk screen on here. And I want it to stick really well. I probably didn't even need to wax now that I'm thinking about it, but I did. So it'll be fine. But that's why I don't want to add fuzz to the situation. All right, and then make sure it's pressed down really well. This is vanilla over ocean mist, and then we'll just take it slow, okay? We do not want to get paste in the center part, okay? There are lines around where the cup is, so I'm going to stay just outside of those lines, all right? And then also like where the mittens go, I don't need to do anything there, okay, because they're going to be completely covered. So I'm going to just work my way around that part of the surface, okay, all the way around over here. And then up top. And I know y'all can't tell right now, but I am like just going right over the edge of where those mittens are. Just slightly over that edge, okay? So that it looks like the print is under them, even though I'm not doing the print there, okay? And then where those words are going to be, go ahead and go all the way over that part. I am trying to work fast so that my paste doesn't dry. So that's the last thing I need, is to have paste drying in my transfer and messing everything up, okay? So I think I'm good to go here. I'm going to go ahead and pull this up. This is just how I wanted it to be, okay? Literally, this is perfect. And you'll notice that I did a good job not getting paste, white paste on my cocoa, thank goodness. But that's why I didn't want to paint my letters white. I wanted to do them brown so that you'd be able to see it up against this background. I think that's going to look really good. So I love this club because it is a print. You can use it for basically anything. And it's good for like Christmas stuff or fall stuff or everyday type things. So if you're not my club member yet, go sign up. I want you to join my club. And also with that, you can go ahead and join Perks too and save 30% on your club membership, okay? Well, and all of your other purchases that you make on the website. Make sure this is really, really dry, and it's pretty feeling pretty dry now, so I think we're good to go. I am gonna, like I always do, I'm gonna put all of this together before I like glue anything, just to be sure that I'm knowing what I'm doing here. I did notice whenever I was first putting this together that the cup has like little slots. So whenever we go to glue this, we'll glue the cup first, okay? Before we do anything else, we'll glue the cup and then we'll put the mittens around it. You don't want to try to squeeze that in after, because it's not going to work. Ooh, this is cute. And then my little marshmallows. Okay, now the words hot cocoa go up here at the top, and it is scored. It's a little bit hard to see with this print on here, but you can still see it. And then this part goes down here, and you just have to kind of fit it in, okay? And you don't want it to go over the edge because you need this to be able to sit into your easel, okay? Very good. All right. Piece of my lid is coming off. So I am gonna go ahead and do these words right here, and then we'll pull all of this off of here and start with the cup, do the little hot cocoa or the marshmallows in the center, and then move on to the mittens and the rest, okay? But I'll go ahead with the words hot cocoa, mine as well. Nothing standing in the way there. Just like that. And then we'll pull all this off of here. Get this glued down, and just a little bit of glue goes a long way. Again, this cup is scored on here, so you know exactly where it goes, okay? So make sure that you pay attention to where those score lines are, and then I'm just going to put a couple of glue dots down for my little marshmallows. All right. Oops, goodness. Okay. Now, this fits right up next to that cup, so just get it in there and get it nice and close. And then we'll do this one too. Like that. And then make sure you know which heart is which. And we'll just pop that one in. And that one. And then our little mittens are done. Just like that. And then let's just one more time make sure that we know where these words are going before we start messing stuff up. This would be so great for a little hot cocoa bar. All winter long. And y'all, I'm about ready. I know it's still like 90 billion degrees outside. I don't care. I want some hot cocoa. well, lightning and thunder did not save me that time, but that's good because I had glue on this already. It did land on my chair, which is fine. This chair is old. It's my old office chair that I used to use for work. And it's seen better days for sure. Okay. Alright, there's our interchangeable insert. Now, we've got this part. Now, you want to make sure that this stuff is really dry, okay? It is kind of watery, so it may feel a little bit damp still. I'm going to just pull this off and then I'll dry it a little bit once it's off of here so I can get this cardboard out of the way. Okay. I'm on the struggle bus, obviously. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put my glue all the way around, and then lay that down, okay? And then you have this piece, okay, and that is just going to sit right up here at the top. So you only need glue on the center parts, basically up to there. And it rests right on top in the middle. Just like that. Press it down for a few seconds. And then you should be good to go. Okay. Now, these are all of your support system for this thing. Okay. So this piece, there's two sides to it. That's why I was saying you could paint this side too. This is the side that we want to see when we're going to put it front out. Okay. So it's going to go like that whenever we put it on, but that's because you'll partially be able to see it from underneath, and I don't want to see the ugliness, okay? Now, this thing is going to go right here. Now, I'm going to just put a couple of little sight dots here just so that I can know, alright? Because I'm terrible about looking at something and then looking away and not knowing what I was looking at. Like the exact spot I was looking at. So, mark it. Okay. Put that right in the middle. And I used hot glue. Okay. Now, these little D pieces. One of them is going to go on each side with the flat part down. Okay. And I'm going to put that one in, and then I'm going to put in my easel piece, and then I'm going to have to slide that piece in, okay? Just like we did with that other one that we made the other day. Same exact thing. Slide it in, and then push it down into that glue. And just hold it there for a second. Let it get all nice and set up. And then you have an easel. Okay. And my thing is a little bit slippery, so it's hard to stand up on there, but it does stand. Okay. And then I believe that this should just rest in here. Now, it actually fits kind of tight. Alright, so there we go, and I am holding it because it's kind of sliding on my, this thing is slick. Hey Stacy, how are you? But let me know what you think I love the club. I hope that you guys are using it. Again, you can comment the word easel to grab this for yourself. And I hope you love this one, okay? Good night.